request from Lisa in Western Australia to help her clarify the leg and rein positions for getting a hindquarter yield on her horse. This is Tigger. He's a 2-year-old quarter horse and he's just been started, so I thought I'd go through the step-by-step process that I would use to teach the horse and rider the hindquarter yield. We'll also go through some common problems that you might encounter and how to help you solve those problems.
Step 1. You need a slight bend to the inside, which means you do need to have an established and relaxed lateral flexion. He doesn't have to be curled right around, but he does know to follow the feel of the inside rein and tip his head slightly to the inside. Make sure you can do this on both sides and he's still relaxed. 2. From the lateral flexion position, you are now going to lift the inside rein, keeping it close to the horse's neck, and at the same time bring your body energy up. Step 3. From there, you're going to turn your body as if you're looking over your horse's hindquarters, keeping your shoulder up. Using the leg that's on the same side as the lifted rein, press into your horse just behind the girth, asking him to step over. As soon as you feel that hindquarters step underneath himself, release and allow him to relax. And we're just going to repeat that. So we're going to ask the horse to bend, lift the rein up, look up over his hindquarters, add the leg, and release when he steps under himself.
Then of course you do have to do it from the other side.
So again, bend, lift, look, and leg, and release when he steps under himself.
And to start off, it really can be just as quiet as that. Now, I'll give you some extra tips when things might not go quite so well.
When you first start, it's common to overbend the horse. This often binds him up, so he has to bottle top around to balance himself. Just make sure you haven't got his head cranked too far around. Often less is more in this situation. If you have a horse that's unresponsive to your leg, you can bump it gently against his side to create some energy. But remember to start with the softest pressure you can and gradually increase, and as soon as he moves his hindquarters, then release, and always start back at the lightest pressure again. The same rule applies if you prefer to use a stick. Ask gently with the leg first and then increase the energy with the stick. Don't nag with constant tapping or suddenly just smack him one out of nowhere. This only creates a horse who is dull and resentful, or you might just get bucked off, and you deserved it. Sometimes you can even use the stick from the other side. This can create a really obvious turn in your body and help the horse feel what you want. If you find your horse is throwing his head up or going backwards, it often means that you have the outside rein too tight. Remember, keep the outside rein loose. You can see here that I start with the outside rein too tight, and that makes the horse go backwards. As soon as I release the outside rein, the horse is able to bend correctly, move forward, and step under himself. Remember, the inside rein needs to be lifted slightly, but close to the horse's neck. If you have your hand out to the side, this actually asks your horse to step his front legs out to the side. If you feel this happening, bring the rein back towards his neck and up slightly. Similarly, if you collapse through the ribs and look down, that puts your weight over the side of the horse, and he has to step his forehand out to the side to balance your weight. So remember, sit tall and keep looking up. Often horses feel leg pressure and just start to go forward. This is very common in more anxious horses that have been taught that any leg pressure means run. The hard thing here is to remember to keep the inside leg pressure on. Do not release it. But keeping the inside rein lifted will help discourage the horse from drifting too far forward and keep him in control in a smaller circle. The moment he steps his hind end over, then you release your leg.
Now I realise you're not going to go into a dressage test lifting and turning your whole body around. I know that. Eventually these steps will be refined right down so you can no longer see them. And it should just end up to be a very subtle, so that you have a very slight inside bend. You're lifting that shoulder on that side and just putting some move on the hindquarter, and your horse just moves around. But to start with, we're exaggerating to teach, and we will refine as we go on, I promise. Just remember that the hindquarter yields are a forward moving exercise. So try and feel for when the hind leg steps in front and across the other hind leg. If you're having trouble with that, it's often a good idea to video yourself or have someone on the ground watching you to help you.